Trading doesn't have to be complicated. It's really the art of buying when everyone is buying and selling when everyone wants to sell. But how do you know how to do that? In this video, I'm going to show you 3 simple steps to making sure that you're always in sync with the crowd and always on the right side of the trade. I'm Boris Schlossberg. Let's get into it. The easiest and the best way to think of the financial market is like a flowing river. All we're trying to do as traders is simply find the flow, find the strongest possible flow, and then jump on it to be able to be taken to profit. That's all we need to succeed in trading. In order to trade flow, you need 3 key components. You need trend, you need momentum, and you need slope. I'm going to explain each in great detail to make you understand exactly why these are the ingredients that make the perfect trade. First of all, let's start with trend. Trend is like a compass. It essentially tells you direction. And you really don't have to overcomplicate things. Trend can be gauged by 2 very simple moving averages. All you need is a short-term moving average and a long-term moving average. As long as the short-term moving average is above the long-term moving average, that is going to tell you that the trend is up. If the short-term moving average is below the long-term moving average, the trend is down. That's really all you need to be able to find and ride direction. But trend by itself is not enough. The second key ingredient in our formula is momentum. Momentum is simply the very simple Newtonian idea that an object in motion will remain in motion. Like a winning sports team that is on a great streak, momentum tends to build momentum. Winning begets winning. Buying begets buying. Selling begets selling. If you're on the right side of momentum, you are on the right side of the trade. That's what's so important. And that's a key mistake that many novice traders make. They think that if you go the opposite of momentum, you're going to be smart. But most of the time, you're just going to get bowled over by the power of the crowd. Our job is not to be smarter than the crowd. Our job is to be in sync with it. The final component of our formula is slope. Slope is simply the idea of making sure that the fresh highs you're seeing are higher than the prior highs, or the fresh lows that you're seeing are lower than the prior lows. If you have positive slope, that means the instrument you're trading is rising. If you have negative slope, that means the instrument you're trading is falling. As long as you're on the right side of that equation, you're going to be in very good hands. Now, why do we need all 3? The reason why is because trend by itself is just not enough. It's simply a directional cue, but it doesn't really tell you that there's going to be any chance of continuation. Momentum too, by itself, can be waning simply because sometimes you get big spikes and sharp drops. So momentum really increases, but then just wanes very quickly. So you absolutely want to be sure by bringing in our 3rd component, which is slope. And slope, of course, is only possible once you have the first 2 in place. You have to have trend in place, you have to have momentum in place, and only then will slope become visible. And once that's visible, then you really have something unique. You have a great trade setup, and you don't have to do anything else but just simply hit the buy button or the sell button and go. Your trade should take care of itself. Overall, you want to ask yourself the following 3 questions. Question number 1. Is the party happening? Is there overall market activity? Is there a trend in place? Great. Question number 2. Are people having fun? Is there a lot of momentum? Is it moving to fresh highs? The answer is yes. Great. And finally, is it getting better? Is the vibe at a party really taking off? Is everybody dancing and laughing, enjoying themselves? That's positive slope or negative slope in a downtrend. You have those 3 things, you have nothing else to worry about. You can then feel confident that you're on the right side of the trade and you're in good hands for further up or down movement. Now that you have the formula in place, it's most important for you to go nice and slow. You don't need to rush and instantaneously jump into the market. Remember, these things set up sequentially. So all you need to do is start simple. Maybe even practice first on the charts. I'm going to show you right now on the charts exactly how these setups take place. But more importantly, you're going to see that these setups happen over and over and over again. So if you miss one, don't worry. The next one is coming in a few minutes. Don't jump, don't rush, take it easy, but follow these 3 steps. Let's take a look at the charts and see exactly how they set up for winning trades. So now let's go to the actual markets. Let's talk about how this 3-component confirmation strategy works in real markets. We'll take a look first at the S&P futures, the ES contract, using my proprietary BFF multi-strategy indicator, which is available to every single BK member. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to join us, and you will be able to get access to this. It's available both on Tradingview and Wealth Charts, so you can be able to measure and control all of your trades by using this indicator. There's many other strategies within this indicator, and part of your membership is going to disclose to you all the other strategies buried inside of this. But we're going to right now use the simplest, easiest 3-component strategy to show you exactly what I mean. So first order of business, we need trend, correct? Therefore, we're looking for short-term trend over the long-term trend. In this particular case, my default values are the 200 period SMA and the 8 period SMA. The red line here is 200 period. The blue line here is the 8 period. You don't need anything more complex, and it's not like these are magical numbers. They're simply representations of short-term versus long-term moving averages. You want to use other values, you certainly can, but it really doesn't matter, because the critical thing here is, as I said, you need a general compass. And a general compass in this case is that we have a trend up. As blue goes above red, that's proper uptrend condition, right? So that's condition number 1. Now, condition number 2 is momentum. And momentum is, in this case, actualized or shown by the dots. Red dots are selling momentum, and green dots are buying momentum. And clearly, in an uptrend, we're looking for green dots. We're looking for upside momentum. So do we have the component number 2, momentum? Yes, we do. Here's a green dot, right? So we have trend, and then we have momentum. And now we have the last and final piece of this puzzle, which is slope. Slope is simply a fancy mathematical way of saying you're going to have a higher high on the greens, a lower low on the reds. Do we have slope? Indeed we do, because you have this green over here, and this is a higher green over here. And if you just weren't so sure, let's say you just wanted to be 100% sure that slope was positive, you could wait a little bit longer and look at this one. And now you have 2 consecutive green dots, one higher than the next, confirming all 3 components: trend, momentum, and slope. You go long on this candle over here, and of course, it skyrockets higher. It depends how you want to trade it. I simply trade this for very short-term scalp conditions, but of course, you can trade it on a positional basis as well. It really depends on everything that you want to do and how you want to do it. Now, let's take a look at the same concept, but in reverse, to the downside. Again, we're going to look for 3 key components to make sure that our trade really plays out. So first and foremost, again, we're looking for downtrend. The blue line must be below the red line, as is the case over here, right? So we have downtrend in place. Let's imagine we'll just go down a little bit more longer just to give ourselves a little more room and space to determine that it's a true downtrend in place. It's been around for 5, 6, 7 bars here. We definitely have directional compass. That's state number 1. State number 2, we're looking for momentum. Do we have momentum? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And now our second condition is satisfied. Now we're looking for slope. And this is where it gets very nuanced and very interesting, because what we're looking for is obviously negative slope. You could make the argument that these two red dots have a slight negative slope, right? And that this is essentially a relatively decent sell signal. And it may very well be. But if you really want to be sure, you want to have a steeper negative slope, it would really be this candle over here. That would be the sell signal. However, and this is very important to show, not every signal is going to be perfect. Even though this satisfies all of our conditions, it actually may stop us out if we put a stop over here. But that's fine, because the whole idea here is that not every structure is going to work, but just that most of them will. I wanted to show you a possible failure just to explain to you that you have to have failures if you want to have successes in any of these trading structures. So fine, we take a tiny little loss on this particular structure and we look for the same idea again. Do we have trend? Yes, we do. We have negative trend that continues. Do we have momentum? Yes, we do. Do we have significant negative slope? Yes, we do right here. And now all three conditions line up perfectly, and the second trade we take falls like a stone. It's a waterfall. So the point being here is, as long as you have the process, you can be in absolutely confident manner that most, not all, but most of the trade setups you see are going to work out in your favor. Now, let's take a look at the same concept, but on longer term charts, for those of you who want to think about this positionally. So for those of you who want to use longer term charts and maybe slower instruments and more positional trades, the system works just as well. You could even make the argument it probably works better because it creates longer, bigger, more pippages on longer term charts. Let's take a look at something like the pound dollar, which we're going to put on a 4-hour chart over here. This is a relatively long time frame, multi-day type of a trade. And we're going to go through the same process of trend, momentum, and slope. So first and foremost, 4-hour chart on the pound here, we're looking at positive trend. The blue is above the red. The short-term period moving average 8 above the 200 period moving average long-term. We have a compass position of up. The next thing we want to look at is momentum. Do we have a green dot? Yes, we do. We have a green dot right over here. That's condition number 2. Condition number 3 is, do we have an upward slope? And here, again, you could interpret it in a conservative fashion or in a more aggressive fashion. So in this particular case, the slope does exist and it is modestly upward sloping. And maybe that's not good enough for you. Maybe you're just not satisfied with that. So then you can carefully wait and patiently wait until you actually get a clean, clear upward slope over here. Once you have this third condition, you're in the trade. You're in the trade over here. And once you're in this trade over here, you can see it has a multiple long-term move here for hundreds of pips, right? You go from basically 30.80 to about 3,400 over a matter of several days. Very little stress, very little pushback, all of it because you are fully confirmed on all three indicators in the right direction. As I said at the beginning, financial markets are like a river. We are just looking to join the flow at the optimal point and let it carry us to the point of profit. If you want to know the rules to my 3 key ingredients for the perfect trade setup, the slide presentation is in the comments below. Just click on it and you'll be able to download it. If you want to watch me trade live, I trade live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:15 New York time, and then also every Tuesday and Wednesday at 7:45 during the Asia session. So come join me. I'm going to show you how I put all of these ideas into practice every single day. In the meantime, I wish you guys the best of luck and the best of trading in the markets. And leave a comment below. Let me know, would you like me to do a video on next? I'm Boris Schlossberg, wishing you guys the best. Over and out.